So what the hell is grounding and why do we keep talking about it so much? Now, this is grounding right here, okay? Especially in relation to women, dating, sexuality, flirtation, approaching, all this stuff, right? This is what grounding is in relation to that. When we engage with a woman, especially an attractive woman, for men, we have a tendency to rise up in our bodies, meaning that we get nervous. We get a little pulled back, right? We're not being our full, true, unleashed masculine selves. We're pulling back to some degree, right? There's a little bit of fear. There's a little bit of resistance, a little bit of hesitancy. And it shows physically in the form of rising up in your body, getting tight, getting tense, getting a knot in your stomach or knot in your throat, right? That's the rising up in the body part. Grounding is the opposite of this. We could talk about grounded men, alpha male type men who are very grounded, who are very, very much embodying their masculine, because maybe they've been raised around mostly men their whole lives. For guys who, let's say, maybe were raised around women their whole lives, mothers, sisters, right? And they didn't have a whole lot of men in their lives. Maybe they didn't have an active father. You have more feeling naturally, right? You're more of a filler. But if you were raised by more men, fathers, not so many women, then you probably got a lot more grounding, right? That's just kind of the nature of it. But here's the thing, grounding is attractive. But if you're a person who were raised around more women and you have more feeling and less grounding, does not mean that you can't develop your grounding. In fact, you can. You can really develop your grounding, but it will feel counterintuitive, right? It's going to feel counterintuitive. It's not going to feel comfortable necessarily. Learning how to feel your ground, learn how to feel your feet, learning how to be in your legs, learning how not to pop up and rise up when you're in a situation that makes you a little nervous, that maybe you don't feel prepared for, that makes you a little bit tight, a little bit tense, makes you a little reactive. That's okay, because it's a skill that you learn if you weren't born with it. So, how do you get grounded? How do you know if you're being grounded? How do you know? What does it even mean? It's the opposite of being reactive. It's the opposite of leading with the front of your body, leading with all of your emotions, right? Grounding is essentially taking all those emotions and all that feeling that you feel if you're a filler, which being a filler is not a bad thing. Being a filler is a good thing. There's men out there who have a lot of feeling and don't have any grounding, but there's also men out there who have too much grounding and don't have a lot of feeling. So we're all trying to fill the gaps of where we lack, all right? So don't feel bad about being a filler. Don't feel bad about being a person who feels a lot and who may be a little bit sensitive. That's all right. Because once you bring your grounding into play, that grounding is going to balance out all that feeling that you have that you may not be able to place or have control over, right? Because when you're a person who feels a lot, you may experience a lot of emotional chaos. Especially if you don't have any grounding, you may experience a lot of emotional chaos, and it could be very destructive to your life in a lot of ways. It can be destructive to where you're trying to get in your life, your business, your ideas. If you don't have grounding, a lot of these things never take off, right? Because we need grounding to keep us level-headed. We need grounding to help us stay focused. We need grounding to help us be consistent, to keep our word to ourselves. So it goes much further than just women in dating, but it has a place there as well. Feeling your feet is a huge part of your grounding, right? So when I say feel your feet, what do I mean by that, right? I get guys who come and do workshops with me. stand them in front of a model, you can see energetically they go haywire. All their energy rises up. Hey, how you doing? How's your day going? Speaking from the throat and up, right? Because all their energy is rising up. So I tell them, relax yourself, feel your feet. What do you mean? Bring your conscious awareness to your feet. Like, if right now I told you to feel your big toe on your right foot, just take a second to feel it. Now, the part that's making the feeling come to your awareness is consciousness being placed on your toe. Does that make sense? I'm trying to make sure it's not too esoteric. Let me say it like this. You weren't thinking about your right big toe before I said it, right? Exactly. You were thinking about something else, or you were feeling somewhere else in your body, right? Maybe you're feeling your heart. Maybe you're feeling sensitive somewhere, right? Maybe you're feeling a different emotion. But now when I tell you, feel the pinky toe on your left foot, notice how all of a sudden that starts to come to your consciousness. When we get in front of women, especially beautiful women that we're attracted to, especially women that we're approaching, and we're learning how to step our game up and go for the women that we want, the ones that really do it for us, you know what I mean? We get in front of them, and we get so nervous, and all that energy in our body gets pent up and bound up, and it doesn't have a place to flow. We say things, or we speak in a way, or we behave in a way that becomes very unattractive. Reactivity mostly. But if during the interaction with a woman like that, you can take your mind or your consciousness off of all the nervousness you're feeling, especially right here in the body, especially in the stomach, the knot, the tightness in your chest, if you can take your awareness off of that and place your awareness on the base of your feet, in your shoe, or on the ground, and you can keep it there for the remainder of that conversation, you will notice that all of this, the chaos that goes on in the heart, the knot, the tightness in the stomach, it tends to go away, right? It disappears enough for you to have a rooted conversation with a person. So even as I'm making this video, right, I'm feeling my feet. I'm feeling my calves, I'm feeling my knees, so I can feel my body, right? Especially lower my body. This is what grounding is. And grounding is so that you take all that chaotic energy that you have as a filler, which feeling is not a bad thing, and you're giving it a place to go. You're grounding it out so it's not overtaking you. So practice this when you go out. When you're talking to anybody, store clerks, women that you're approaching, people that you're stopping and asking for time, directions, for the remainder of that conversation or the remainder of that interaction, how long can you maintain feeling of your feet? How long? Just go out there and test it and just see. You might find that, hey, Anthony, I was talking to this girl, and then like maybe for the first like 13, 12 seconds, I could feel my feet. But I realized after the interaction was over, I couldn't feel any of my body at all. I don't know what happened. Yeah, because you got nervous. Whatever it was about that interaction, whatever it was about that girl that you were talking to, it completely took you out of your body. You weren't in your body at that point. Or maybe you were nervous and you were only feeling your heart and you were only feeling the nervousness, but you weren't feeling your grounding, right? Other areas of the body that you can use to ground yourself. The back. Your spine. Bring your awareness to your pinky toe on your left foot. Remember that idea? How about you feel your spine directly behind your heart, directly behind the middle of your chest. Feel your spine behind here in your back. Just bring your focus, bring your awareness there. All right? Start to notice as you do that, it has a very distinct feeling to it, doesn't it? Feels a little bit different than feeling your heart. Feels a little bit different than feeling your stomach, right? Same thing with the feet. It grounds you. Your back, your feet, your legs, especially the backs of your legs, your backs of your calves, your glutes. These are all very grounding parts of the body, right? In relation to the front of your body, which is more of the feminine, we call it that, because it's emotionally expressive. Your back doesn't really have emotions to it, right? Think about grief. When you're grieving, when you're crying, the majority of that's coming from the heart or the chest, right? You feel insecure, a lot of that's coming from the stomach. You feel sexually aroused, ready to go. It's coming from your internal. It's coming from your crotch. It's coming from your pelvis. It's coming from your balls, your penis, your taint, all that stuff, right? Now, notice how all those parts of your body are way more sensitive. The back is not a sensitive place like that, right? Your spine is not a sensitive place like that. Kinda. The more you do more embodiment work, it actually gets more sensitive. But you start feeling these parts of your body, the spine and the back, your feet, the back of your legs, your hamstrings, your calves. You'll start to notice that it takes a lot of that sensation from the front of your body and it relaxes it so that you can actually maintain a conversation with somebody without getting reactive. When you walk up to a woman and you tell her how sexy you think she is, or how beautiful you think she is, or how you like this and that about her, right? Go ahead and watch the last video I did about being very specific. If you do that from a very grounding place, excuse me, I'm sorry, look at that outfit is amazing on you. And you're not getting crazy chaotic up here and getting reactive after you say it, and you're able to stay grounded and penetrating with your eyes or your subcommunication, that's attractive. That'll draw right in. So, hope this video helped. We're at the 12-minute mark. Again, I would have loved to have made this 9 minutes, 8 minutes, but it is what it is. I could talk about the grounding all day. If you got any specific questions about these things, again, get over to our Facebook group, HID High Integrity Dating on Facebook groups. Is a private group, but you can find it in the search bar. I'll drop the link in the description here. Reach out to me and let's talk about where you are. If you're having trouble with any of this stuff and you really need to learn how to feel, and feeling is your thing, or your grounding is your problem, maybe you need to do some model work. Maybe we need to get you in front of a model so that we can activate and stir up all that stuff that you got going on in your body and teach you to ground physically in person at a workshop. So anyways, hope this helps you. If you need extra help outside of these videos, get in contact with me. I'm always constantly doing 3-day workshops, 3-month workshops. I got online workshops too that I can more closely work with you more personally. I got one-on-one phone calls that I do as well, just to really get you going. So anyways, guys, love you. I'll see you guys in the next video. Take these exercises from this video, these practices, go out and try them with circlers. Go out and try it with people during your indirect stops. Go out and try them in your approaches. Try them with your friends too. Anyways, guys, peace. See you in the next video.